Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching from this wonderful, weird, wacky, chaotic world of ours. Welcome into the Alberta referendum. That's right, a path to a brighter future for our kids and grandkids. Time for a conversation. If you haven't caught any of my previous videos about the Alberta referendum, kind of setting the table a little bit for the discussions, you can check out on the YouTube channel all the previous episodes. I think there are 7 up there already. And maybe if you only have time for one, check out the first one. I think the first one gives you a lot of background and intent for what I want to do on this channel. As always, thanks everyone for viewing, for watching, for sharing, for liking, for leaving comments. You guys are amazing. This movement is just such a special time for those of us in Alberta that are looking for a change, wanting to save at least a part of Canada. I don't know if we can save all of Canada, but Alberta is definitely there for saving. Few viewer comments I want to go through from the previous episode. I am recording this on Saturday afternoon here in central, beautiful Alberta. The sun is kind of shining. We still have snow, and it's still a little chilly, but spring is on the way. Thanks again for the comments. First one from Angela. In my honest opinion, there is no positive reason to remain in a country that outright oppresses its people, denies prosperity, and pushes censorship and full control. A misguided sense of patriotism just doesn't cut it. Alberta Independence. Cheers to you. The first raising of the glass today goes to you, Angela. Thank you. I think you are echoing the sentiment of many people in Alberta. Enough is enough. Those that lived through the 70s, through the Pierre Trudeau days, through the what was it? The new economic, no, not the new energy policy. Yeah, sometimes I think it could have been named the new economic policy. But thank you, Angela, for the comment. Peter Patter. As for support for independence is low, there is a solid 35 to 40% is for sure, 30% for no, and about 30-40% sitting on the fence. Let the campaign begin. Independents will have the horses to take it over the top. The independents have all good, believable arguments. I'm pretty close to what I think in terms of the percentages. And I think some people mistook Peter's comments for against independence. No, Peter, the comments Peter is leaving is absolutely in favor of independence for Alberta. And I think that's realistic numbers right there. I might go a little bit higher in terms of solid. I might go like 45 to 50% solid, maybe 30% completely unagainst, and you're not going to change their mind. And then you have that group that, like you said, is sitting on the fence. Those are the people that you and I are trying to get this message across to. We don't really need to convince the people that are already for independence. And we're probably not going to convince many of the people that are against independence. However, that 20-25% that's kind of in the middle there, those are the people we want to bring over to our side. I do think we're kind of around that 50% strongly in favor of, but we still need 10, 15, 20% more to take this home. So thank you, Peter, for the comments. Comment from Stephen Raymond. Steve says, taxation without representation. Where have I seen that before? Something about the 13 colonies comes to mind. I just want to know, who will our Paul Revere be? The Liberals are coming. The Liberals are coming. Who's going to go into their 4x4 and head down the streets of Alberta with a warning call? Thank you so much, Steve. Beekeeper comments as well. Every time carnage. Now you got to be careful on YouTube. You know, YouTube is one of these platforms that does tend to censor, does tend to limit what gets out there with the algorithms. So I don't want to mention the PM's last name as well. I like to refer to him as Chili Con Carne. He's chili con carne. Just talking about food, YouTube. So if I refer to chili con carne, I'm not going back to the good old Gen X days, although back in the, 70s and 80s, there was some good chili con carne out there. Anyway, Beekeeper says, opens his mouth, more come on board for separation or independence. Being in Canada, we are still landlocked. However, I work here in Canada and in the States and have never had a problem with that. So why would there be a problem for Canadians to work in Alberta? Chili con carne is taking the provincial rights and human rights away with certain bills. Yes, absolutely. We pay for everything now, CPP, EI, defense, and more. And makes a good point. We already have credit unions. We have the ATB. We have a banking system that has a lot of provincial tones already, plus American banks as well. I don't think they would leave just because Alberta became independent. In fact, they would probably welcome bringing even more banks into Canada if we so needed it. Good comment there, Beekeeper. Thank you so much. Lennox, Alberta freedom is a must. No more Ottawa. There you go, Lennox. And Daryl, Alberta Independence, sign the petition and bring a friend. Alberta strong and free. And I like that comment, Daryl, because you've hit it on the head there. Again, no need to really convince people that already have signed the petition. You need to convince people that, should I sign it? Should I not sign it? Get them out there. Get them to the petition signings. Get them to the guest speakers. Lots of them still going on. And if we can take one or two people with us that we think we can convince to sign the petition, even better. Thank you, Daryl. One more comment, this one from Dwayne. Dwayne, the biggest decision for Alberta independence is Ottawa is too rotten to the core to change. What we have experienced so far is what Ottawa has to offer, and these censorship things coming out, got to open up our eyes. How can you not see it? So many social media sites right now are pointing out the bills, the laws that are coming our way, the censorship coming our way. How can Albertans especially not see that? Is it because they have their heads buried in the sand? Is it the fight or flight and they choose flight? And I noticed that a lot of people that are against independence, you can't easily have a conversation with them. You can have a conversation with the fence sitters, even if they don't agree with you. At least they will entertain a conversation with you. But those that are completely opposed to it, they don't want to hear it. La, la, la. They put their fingers in the air. La, 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 la. I don't want to hear it. Which makes it difficult to, again, have an intelligent, articulate conversation with some people. Like I said, some people are not going to change. Don't waste your time and energy on those. Waste your time and energy, and it's not even wasting. Use your time and energy on those that are open to a conversation. Because if they're open to a conversation with you about this, then they're open to signing the petition and having a referendum. As I've said before, what's the harm in having a referendum? Make that point. Sign the petition so that we get a referendum. You're not signing the petition for independence yet. Then you've got a few more months to look at the facts, to do some research. And when that petition comes, when the referendum comes, I should say, in October, by then you can make a much more informed decision. So sign the petition. Thank you for that. Well, today I want to take a look at Danielle Smith. I mentioned in my last video If there's one kind of red flag, it's still green, but it's kind of, it's an off green. It's a little tattered green flag. For me, it's, where really does Danielle Smith stand on this, the Premier of Alberta? I like so many things that Danielle Smith has done. Is she the right person to lead Alberta into a new world? Let's take a look. First of all, her political record. In the late 90s, she was a trustee for the Calgary Board of Education. 10 years later, she became the leader of the Wild Rose Party. Those Albertans that have lived here for a while will remember that. And became the official opposition party. Eventually crossed the floor because the vote splitting between Wild Rose and Conservatives pretty much gave the NDP government power. Those two parties came together. And in 2015, she kind of stayed away from politics. She was a talk show host and columnist for the Calgary Herald. And then back in 2022, just 4 years ago, she won the UCP leadership race and became the Premier of Alberta, replacing Mr. Kenney. November 2022, a month later, she was elected MLA for Brooks Medicine Hat. And in May 2023, our last provincial election led the UCP to a majority government. And again, the UCP, Progressive Conservatives, they've kind of formed the government since, what was it, late 60s, early 70s, until that little blip when Notley and the NDP came in for a few years. And that, again, was because of the vote splitting between the Wild Rose and the Conservatives. Well, they remedied that. I'm going to go through a few of the things that concern me, as it should you as well. Some of the things that Danielle Smith has said that kind of make us pause a little bit and wonder, what are her intentions? Which side will she choose when it comes down to it? How much of a rope will she tighten about Alberta independence? So some of the negatives, first of all, and then we'll go to the positives. A quote from Danielle Smith: "I have repeatedly stated I do not support Alberta separating from Canada." Said this back in May. I think it was at a town hall meeting or a meeting amongst a bunch of people in Alberta. And in her speech announcing the Alberta Next panel and referendum framework, she did say this. And she said that a few times, that she does not support Alberta separating from Canada. That alone should worry us a little bit. Number two, what is her commitment? What is her party's commitment to a united Canada? She is quoted of saying, "I still have hope for a united Canada." Same day, May 5th, 2025, at the same provincial address, she emphasized her preference for remaining in Canada. This one, I don't have a lot of fault for. I kind of am in the same boat. I would prefer a united Canada. I would prefer a united Canada where Alberta, British Columbia, the Western provinces have more input into the government, have more equality into what goes on in our country. In an ideal world, independence wouldn't be necessary, and the provinces in the West wouldn't feel so abandoned. And maybe that's all she's saying here. Number three, government will not initiate a separation vote. Our government will not be putting a vote on separation on the referendum ballot. Same day as she mentioned those other two things, she clarified that any independence vote would have to come from a citizen-led petition, not her government. Should this concern us? I don't think so. I think she's playing it safe. I think she can't alienate a group of Albertans. So I think back in May of 2025, she was one of those kind of sitting on the fence, playing both sides. Because again, she still has to maintain support, not only amongst Albertans, but her party. And we don't really know within her party who supports what. They keep very quiet. They don't come out publicly. Maybe in caucus, they, speak a little more freely. So I don't really push back too much against this quote because it should be the citizens. It should be Albertans that push it. And that's exactly what's going on. Number 4, explicit rejection. Now, this is a reported statement coming from, her party, her PR, often saying she does not support secession. It was reported May 6th in the national international coverage discussing Alberta independence and her referendum status. So we do see that constant message against independence, against independence. Number 5, majority of Albertans not interested in independence. This comes from February of 2025, reported via government spokesperson, used to reinforce that separation is not the preferred path. In a lot of comments from the party, from Danielle, from her PR staff, they use that word separation a lot. We know we prefer independence. So I'm just using the terms that are used a lot coming from her quotes or from her public relations staff. This was over a year ago. I think the numbers are much different. I mean, the movement really hadn't taken off. Maybe some different words, some different ideas, some different thoughts will come out of her PR staff when the real numbers start to come in. I personally think she's playing it safe. But like any politician, when the numbers come out after the petition deadline and there's not just 117,000, but 200,000, 400,000, 800,000, 1.2 million, whatever those numbers are, it will be over the minimum. We could see a change in her rhetoric. Politicians want to stay in power. Maybe deep down, she's hoping for independence, but she can't come out and say it. But seeing the numbers, even if she is against independence, if she sees numbers close to 1 million, you don't think she'll change her tune? If she wants to win another election in Alberta? Be interesting to see a few speeches from her after the numbers come out. So let's take a look now at the positives, because like I said at the beginning, I still am a supporter of Danielle Smith. I have faith in Danielle Smith. She's done so many good things in terms of, the social values in Alberta, whether it's MAID, whether it's children and transgender, medical. Don't want to say too much because, again, it's YouTube. Hate when we have to kind of use code words. But I'm still very much in favor and supportive of Danielle Smith. She hasn't done really a lot to make me really distrust her. Maybe raise my eyebrows a little bit with some of the things and chili con carne. She tends to favor her chili con carne the odd time and support the chili con carne. But again, maybe just keeping her enemies a little closer for now. So some of the positives: respecting a path to a separation referendum. If there is a successful citizen-led referendum petition, our government will include that question on the 2026 provincial referendum ballot. Explicitly commits to doing this. That is an extremely positive sign. Danielle Smith and her party allowed the opportunity, promoted the idea, set down the guidelines, which made them even easier for citizens to acquire enough signatures. I believe it was even less signatures that they needed. Certain percentage of the last group of voters from the last election. The fact that the Alberta government kind of made it a cakewalk in terms of putting this on the ballot, I think that's an extremely positive sign. To me, if a government truly did not want its citizens to have an opportunity for independence, they would not have eased the guidelines on this. Number 2, legitimizing independent supporters. Danielle Smith has said, the vast majority of these individuals are not fringe voices. Well, isn't that nice to hear? After hearing for years, we're just the fringe. They don't matter. Ignore them. It's white noise. She has acknowledged this. They are our friends and our neighbors. So that's a good sign. She rejects that the separatists or independents are extremists, which, again, we have to fight that always. You're an extremist, a right-wing extremist. And then using the F word, not that F word, the other F word in terms of the political spectrum. And often the other side will try to normalize us as fringe, us as extremists, kooky, crazy, conspiracists. Number 3, framing Alberta as sovereign. She supports a sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. So even though she consistently mentions a united Canada, she does use that word sovereign. So this phrasing is widely cited and controversial because sovereign implies independent state language, even while nominally remaining in Canada. That's good. Number 4, highlighting rising independent sentiment. She's quoted as saying, I've never seen such a high level of separatist sentiment. Really would like to see her use that word independent more. Rather than dismissing independence, Smith emphasizes its continued growth while amplifying and legitimizing the movement. Again, I think she's just kind of hiding in the weeds a little bit. I think she's waiting to get official confirmation that this movement is so big that it will allow her to come out with her true feelings. I don't think she can do that yet. For her own political career, probably. Kind of makes sense. On the other hand, it would be nice if she would have come out of the gate supporting independence. But as a politician, I guess you got to play things a certain way. Number 5, opening the door procedurally to independence votes. If any of them get their requisite number of signatures, then we'll have to talk about it. A referendum. Holding back. Here again, she signals willingness to act on the petitions, reinforcing that independence is viable, actionable outcome under her government. The bottom line in the comments, let's have the conversation on both sides. What worries you about Danielle Smith, if anything? Do you believe she is just playing it safe right now, not wanting to take too many chances, not wanting to pick a definite side? No politicians in Alberta have come out publicly to support independence. If you have seen some quotes, please put it in the comments. I looked and looked. I could not find any quotes from our current provincial government. If they are, they're from kind of the minor fringe parties. They're from activists. They're from federal candidates who were not elected. So, not saying there are no politicians or former politicians, but I couldn't find any clear, verifiable quotes from sitting Alberta MPs supporting independence. I think behind closed doors, they've been told. And what I'm hoping is they've been told, keep your mouths closed. Don't create any controversy. Don't support independence. Wait for the petition signing to come out. We don't want to do anything to disrupt what's going on, because things are going on fine. You don't disrupt or put out messages that might disrupt it, might rile up the other side and cause problems, especially cause problems at petition signings. So in a way, it's kind of good. The government's just, let's keep things quiet until after that May deadline. Once the numbers come in, then I'm hoping our Alberta government will get on board and really, really support. I don't think they will. I don't even think after the numbers come in, they might maybe put out a few more positive messages about independence. But I think they don't want to be perceived as picking one side or the other until the referendum is over. And then, of course, they'd be on board. Politicians. So Danielle Smith, I would prefer you pick a side. I think the numbers will be there. They'll be there in a lot bigger numbers than maybe she even thought. And she could cement herself as the leader of an independent Alberta if she would just pick a side. And even if it's not until after the petition signing, I don't mind that. I would prefer it's not till after. I am just hoping that she doesn't stay in the weeds until October. I really, really think it's important for morale, for confidence boost, for those that are seeking independence. It's really important she comes out sometime between May and November in support of this. If not, from my point of view, it's going to look like she is taking advantage of the independence movement. Oh, you got 70%? Okay, now I'll publicly support it. You know, the bandwagon jumpers in sports, they don't support a team until the team is in the playoffs. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've been a big fan of them forever. I can't wait to go to the parade. I think for her political career, she needs to pick a side before October. Put your comments in the video below. Thank you so much for the support again. Remember, still a month to go in the petition signing. Take a friend. 177,000 signatures needed. I think we've blown past that. We've probably tripled it. My guess would be somewhere between 400 and 600,000 is where we're at. I think there'll be a big, big push this last month. Go check out the stayfreealberta.com website. go check out the albertaprosperity.com website. In October, we will see this on a referendum. Do you agree that the province of Alberta should cease to be part of Canada to become an independent state? If you're going to be on Whitecourt, this video comes out on the 30th. If you're going to be in Whitecourt on the 31st, at the Westward Community Hall, you can go check out the guest speaker. Petition signing will take place from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Take a drive to Whitecourt, hear what they have to say. On April 1st, on Wednesday, there will be a petition signing between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. Guest speaker at 7 p.m. in Hinton at the Hinton Center. That's right. And another guest speaker on Thursday, April the 2nd. If you're in Grand Cache, head over to the 19th hole, 7 p.m. for the guest speaker, petition signing from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. The campaign continues, over 250 signing locations. Whether you're from Monitor, Olds, Morinville, lots of places that you can get your signature to ensure a referendum in October. My name is Glenn. I am a proud Canadian and an even prouder Albertan. Have a wonderful start to your week. Keep being amazing. Keep promoting the positivity. We'll see you next episode.